In this video, I'm going to teach you how to practice EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, or tapping. Thank you for being here and welcome to Womb Moon Yoga. Yoga that helps women to be free and joyful in their bodies and their relationships. And if you don't know how to practice EFT yet, it's going to be a very important tool in your basket of self-regulation resources, because it does help us to find that joy and freedom physically, because it can help to remove physical pains, and also emotionally, because it removes energetic blockages and restores our emotional harmony and balance within, which then of course helps to create much more loving and fulfilling partnerships and relationships with others. So how do we practice EFT? The main procedure takes 4 steps, and it can be remembered by the acronym RATT, double T, R-A-T-T. R stands for rate. So before you actually start tapping, you want to clearly identify what exactly you feel and then rate it. Rate its intensity from 0 to 10, picking a number that shows how much of that feeling is currently in your body or in your energetic field. So naming what exactly you want to tap on is very, very important. And I know that some people may say that EFT is not that efficient, they tried and it hasn't worked, because what they are trying to tap on is too generic, or it's more like some kind of thoughts. Or for example, they could say lack of self-love. I lack self-love, and this lack of self-love, and so on. But when you are not connecting to feelings, emotions within yourself, it's not that efficient. And also, my personal tip, whoever wants to really create bigger, deeper, longer lasting results, is to always connect to what you feel somatically, what physical sensations are being connected to that thought or that feeling. So if you start with thoughts, always go further towards feelings, and you want to have that very clear, knowing what exactly you're tapping on, because you might feel too many things at a time, right? You may feel sad and angry and guilty at the same time, for example. So you just choose one, and normally I suggest choosing the one that feels the strongest to you. And then you also say, if the strongest would be anger, then you're going to feel where in your body you feel that anger resides at the moment. How exactly you feel it. Maybe it's super tight shoulders, maybe you can't breathe properly, maybe it's pain in your stomach. Whatever it is, you want to clearly identify it and then give it a number from 0, which means you don't feel it at all, to 10, which is the most intense. Okay, so this is R, rate. Next letter is A for affirm. This is about so-called set up phrase. You're going to say, even though I feel anger or I feel angry, and that's affirming that negative feeling. Please don't be afraid of affirming negativity. I know there is this idea that we need to be positive, and of course it truly helps to be positive, but not when you're trying to look into the root of a problem. I like what Louisa Hay said about this, and she was the queen of positive affirmations. And when someone asked her about EFT and this so-called negative affirmation, she said, if you want to clean the house, you need to see the dirt. So yes, we want to know exactly what we are removing from our body energy system. So that's the first part of the sentence, even though, and you say what's negative, and then you are adding a positive statement that helps you to open up to healing. And the most common suggested would be, I completely accept and love myself. Now, if it doesn't feel true to you, if at the moment you feel you're very far away from loving yourself and accepting yourself, you can change it to, I choose to accept myself. I choose to love myself. And if this doesn't feel like it's resonating, you don't want to line this sentence, right? You want to choose something which truly feels like your starting point. So it could be simple. It could be just, I'm still okay. I am still doing fine. But if you can, then you just say, I truly accept and love myself, or I accept and love my body as it is. Now, there are 3 rounds of setup phrase. So you basically repeat it 3 times. And of course, you can just repeat the same sentence each time. But what I usually suggest is having one statement on feeling or emotion. So that would be that anger. And then the second one on physical sensation. So what exactly you feel in your body. And then the third one, you can repeat either the first one or the second. Okay, I hope I'm not making it too complicated for you, but it's very, very important that you have a good setup phrase. And when you do the setup phrase, you are tapping what we call karate chop. So in this distance, it's right in the middle, and you can tap it with all of your 4 fingers of the other hand. Now, it doesn't matter which hand you use. You'll be relieved to know that even if you don't tap all the points and you don't use the same sequence, it's still working. And sometimes even just tapping one point could do it for you. Okay, so we are saying a setup phrase. Even though I feel really angry right now, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel like my chest is congested, or my shoulders are too tight, or I feel pain in my belly, whatever it is for you, you want to be very specific. And if you can, say more about this. What type of pain? Is it throbbing? Is it sharp pain? Maybe you can say what color it is, or what kind of size it is. So the more specific you get, the better, just because that helps you to feel it fully. We are so conditioned not to feel what's uncomfortable that it takes practice, and it takes courage as well, and vulnerability to really feel what you feel. And giving it names and describing it, it's promoting this deeper dive into whatever is happening within your body. So you say that setup phrase 3 times. That was affirming. Now the third part is tapping. So finally we are going to do the tapping. And when you tap, you are repeating the negative part. It could be simple. This anger. I feel so angry. And if you feel like adding more, any thoughts or feelings, it's also good. And remember, you also want to speak to your physical sensations. So this tightness in my chest, my tight shoulders, whatever it is. Okay, so you tap and you say that negative feeling or physical sensation out loud. And now I'm going to teach you exact tapping points. So the first one is the beginning of the eyebrow. So there's a bone here, and actually many people find that if like really press it, it's a little bit sore here. So that's the point. Now you can tap with just 2 fingers. Some people like having kind of bigger area and they tap with 3 fingers, so it's up to you. Again, you can use right hand on the left side, whatever hand on which side makes no difference. Second point is the side of the eye. It's not temple, it's this bone here again. The third one, so for now we just want to find all the points, please find them with me. Below the eye, under the eye, again on the bone here. Under the nose, so it's above the lip. Sometimes it's easier this way, especially if you have nails. And then chin. So chin is where there is this kind of little line here sometimes. Now this point we call collarbone. Collarbone is this bone here, right? And the point is where the collarbone, the first rib and the chest bone meet, and then you move about 1 inch lower from that meeting point, okay? We call it collarbone, but it's a little bit lower than that. Okay, and then under the armpit, if you are a woman wearing a bra, that's where the bra line, about the middle of it. And you can tap it this way, or you can still do fingertips. I kind of like it this way more. And there is another tapping point that mainly are not used from what I see other people do, but it's actually very important, and it's below the nipple. I adjusted my camera a little bit so you get a better understanding. So for a man, it's 1 inch below the nipple, and for a woman, it's where the underskin of the breast meet the chest wall. Okay, again, at the level of the nipple. So you tap here. And I think it's an important point because it's connecting us to the meridian of liver, which is connected to anger. So if that's one of the emotions you want to work with, please don't forget that point. Now there are more points on fingertips. Again, some people don't use them at all, but I think they're important. And also sometimes if you want to do some tapping on public, you can tap these points, like even like this, under the table, and other people will not know what you're doing. So it's actually very important. Now, okay, this way. Thumb, it's outside, not closer to the fingers, but outside, the side where your thumbnail is ending, right? The corner of the thumbnail. And then the side which is closer to the thumb, again, the end of the fingernail on the outer side, then the same on the middle finger. And we are not using the ring finger because we are going to use the gamut point here, which connects us to the same meridian, so no need for that. And the last one is again just your little finger inner side, close to the thumb one. Okay, so these are all the points, and then we always end at tapping the crown of the head. That was tapping. And the fourth part of the procedure is rating it again. And we call it test. So you are testing how do you feel now about that same problem. How strong is your anger and how strong is that chest tightness or shoulder tightness, whatever you felt as the physical sensation. Again, giving it a number from 0 to 10. And most of the time it goes down. However, it's possible that it might come up. Just because before you might have repressed your emotions, and now as you truly feeling into what's happening within yourself, it might go much higher up with the intensity. So no worries, it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. You just keep tapping and then it will eventually subside and go down. But don't have this as a very strong goal, like I need to get to 0. Have more of this embracing. Wow, this is a thunderstorm here in Taipei at the moment. Have this very embracing feeling. You are holding yourself as a mother will hold her child, and allow yourself to be with your emotions and your physical discomfort. Being uncomfortable is something we all need to learn, because when we learn to be with discomfort, we then are capable of having bigger capacity for comfort and pleasure. So once you test it yourself and you know what's your current number, you can do another round. So you are going to say setup phrase, but of course it needs to reflect any changes in your physical sensations and your emotions. And if you still feel anger, you're going to just add still. Even though I still feel this anger, even though I still feel my chest tight. However, if there is a bigger change, you just voice that out. So you continuously feeling what's happening in your body. And then you do another round of tapping. And I want to introduce you to what's called the 9 Gamut Procedure. There is gamut point here, as I mentioned. It's just maybe 1 inch, for some people a little bit more, down from where your pinky and ring finger meet. And again, you just tapping this point. Now it's called the 9 Gamut Procedure. This is gamut point, and we have 9 different things we want to do. So you start with closing your eyes as you tap, then you open your eyes. You look hard down to your right without moving your head, hard down to your left. And then you want to make a slow circle with your eyes without moving your head again. It might be difficult. You may find that your eyes kind of jumping, but you want to do it very slowly. If your nose is in the middle of the clock, you want to make sure that you go and touch each number on the clock. So you are slowly moving your eyes in one direction, then you change while keep tapping that gamut point. You do this other direction around, and then you want to hum a song, maybe happy birthday song. Just 2 seconds is enough. Any song is good. Choose the song that doesn't trigger anything negative within you. And then you count 1 to 5 quickly. In your own language is even better than English, if English is not your native language. It's not my native language. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to hum the song again. This humming and counting helps us to integrate the right and left hemispheres of the brain. Okay. Now, again, lots of practitioners just don't do the gamut point. I find it especially useful at the end of tapping, and if people just have a general feeling but they're not quite sure what exactly happened in the past that made them feel that way, if there's lots of uncertainty, if it's still very much in the subconscious, then this gamut point is extremely helpful. So sometimes you can just do this 9 gamut procedure without any tapping. Try, whenever you are stressed, try to make a roll with your eyes. Create a circle. You'll find that it's not that easy. And then once you're completely relaxed, do it again. So by rolling our eyes, we are also influencing some neurological wiring in our brains. So you can use this 9 gamut procedure after each tapping, if you wish, or closer to the end. And ideally you keep going this way till you reach 0. However, it's not always possible. And if you can't reach 0 again, no worries, it's all good. You are helping yourself tremendously with just doing as much as you can. But then go back to it again when you have time, when you have that inner resource to face your discomfort. I hope that you will start using EFT regularly. To make it effective, be as specific as you can. Say, use names rather than just saying stress at work. Name the problem. I hate how Jane addressed this issue yesterday, whatever it is, right? So just making sure you are really feeling the situation, all the feelings that it brings up, but focusing on that one intense feeling. And one more time, don't forget physical sensations of the body. Wow, it's a long video. I've got a lot to say about what you need to do with your EFT, but it's simple. You don't need to complicate it. I just put every little detail in here in case you have some questions. So I know for myself, if I have a question and I'm not sure whether I'm doing it right, I will just not do it. So that's my intention, to explain everything to you so you start practicing regularly and you benefit from this simple and profound technique. Thank you for watching. If you need any help, do reach out. I am looking forward to seeing you in the next videos. Maybe I'll film tap along kind of videos where we'll be focusing just on a particular issue. If you want to address something in particular, let me know. I'll make a video for you. And be well. Namaste.